It don't matter what you play, rock, country, blues. Guitar angels will be there for you. So keep yourself open and you'll find the one who will be there to help you home when you can't go on. It might be Hendrix, SRV, or Collins and the Kings.
Hi, I'm Steve Hefter, and I'm here for Rock, Roots, and Blues Live with Mr. James Armstrong. Hello, James.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for sitting down with me.
It's good to be here.
We're here at Madams, Oregon in Washington, D.C., right before you hit the stage in a few hours.
Yeah, Madams, Oregon, Washington. I've been here, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 times in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or so, or less. And it's a fun place.
You like it?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's great sound and great crowd. I got a bunch of fans that come, and they already have their own fan club here, so it just works out well.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I've never been here myself, and I've never seen you live.
Oh yeah, well it's kind of cool here. I don't, for me, I'm just a blues guy that just grew up, playing different types of music and writing songs and just trying to keep this beautiful, I call it American music, blues, trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, I heard you've been called the ambassador of the blues.
That's interesting. I have, and a few people are like crowning me, I guess, as the ambassador. Maybe just because I try to promote the blues and maybe just personality. I just my shows, I guess, are a lot of fun, I've been told, and I just try to get the crowd involved and just promote this, this American music that is one of the originals. Blues, obviously, it was one of the first.
Yeah. How did you get involved with the blues and music in the beginning? I've read some things, but I'd like to hear in your own words.
Well, it was by my father, actually. My father was a jazz guitar player, and he met my mom, and she was a singer. And then here comes me, and I was actually raised by my father. My mom and dad separated. Divorced when I was 6 months old, so I was raised by just my dad. I got really, really lucky. He was a great guy. And it was just him and I. And I was born in California and grew up and lived there. And he just always had guitars around the house, but I didn't start on guitar. I started playing drums when I was 5 with him doing a duet. And now I look back on it, might have been a novelty act, because I don't know if I was any good or anything. But so anyway, there were always guitars around the house, and then I just would pick one up every now and then and try to strum something. And then one day when I was maybe 7 or 8, it really kind of just hit me that I could maybe play this thing. And he had a lot of friends, blues musicians and jazz, and just that's how I started.
Yeah. And it went from there. You formed a band early on?
Yeah, I got into a band. Probably my first band I kind of formed, and a bunch of kids. We might have been like 13 or 14, and just playing this like local events around town, like basically family events.
Right.
Oh yeah, let me hire my nephew type of situation. So I did that for a while, and then just living on the West Coast, I just grew up with a lot of different music. I actually got into rock at an early age because I actually wanted to be the next Hendrix. I used to wear the headband and try to walk like him, try to do this and do that, and I really got into rock, and it was just still some, I didn't really realize that, because I had a lot of blues, I guess, in my heart and soul from my dad, but it was, you know, older blues. And then when I heard like people like the Allman Brothers and Eric Clapton, and they were doing Stormy Monday and Sweet Home Chicago and things like that, and I went, wow, because it was a whole nother energy.
Yeah.
So I got into that, and the first touring band I ever worked with was a country band. I toured with a country band at 17 years old.
When was that? What time?
Year-wise, it was the year I was supposed to graduate high school, and that would have been 1975.
Okay.
2 weeks before I was supposed to graduate, they went on the road, and we went on the road, and a month or two before that, I asked my dad if I could miss graduation and go, and I came back, Santa Monica High, and then I did graduate, you know, unfortunately, got graduated. But that was my first road experience. We were out for about 6 weeks, and that's how I got that road itch.
Right. And from there?
From there, I just basically played around town, you know, just started forming different bands, became side guy, played with a lot of different people, you know, there were blues artists that, you know, Big Joe Turner would come to town, and I'd sit in with him and just try to get hired by other people, and then still do the rock thing. There was a guy from New York named Sam Taylor that moved to California, because I grew up in Santa Monica on the beach, and I met Sam in Venice, California, and he taught me a lot. We taught a lot about music and just blues, and because at that time I call it coming back home. There was, I don't know, age or year when I really kind of let go of the rock and country and really tried to understand and feel the blues a little bit more. And so I call it coming back home. And it's just working around town a lot, and then a fellow by the name of Bruce Bromberg found me, and somebody told him about me. He came into a show, and I actually had to hire a band to audition for Bruce. And Bruce was the owner of High Tone Records, and he's the guy that found Robert Cray. And then he found Joe Louis Walker, and then he found James Armstrong. So I was the next guy that Bruce wanted under his wing.
Right. At some point, you ended up working with Albert Collins?
Yeah, I met Albert Collins through a really good friend that I met when I was 12 years old, named Coco Montoya. Incredible master guitar player, but I knew Coco when he played drums for Albert, and then Coco went on his own and started playing guitar, and you know, just he was with John Mayall for a very long time, and then he went on his own and just took over. He's just great. But I met Albert Collins through Coco, and I can't say, you know, I didn't do any gigs. I did gigs with Albert, none of his gigs. He always came and sat in with Coco and we had a band called Coco and James. And this is a long time ago. I just remember that. Kind of funny.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. No, you won't find that.
Well, you never know now.
That. No, I don't know. That'd be very interesting if something came out about Coco and James. You know.
Coco and James thing, and you were with you played sometimes with Albert.
Yeah, and you know, and then got signed by High Tone Records, and things were just incredible. Bruce Bromberg, you know, he mentored me, and we wrote a lot of songs together, and I was learning songwriting, and we all had great expectations, and that was in 1996, and or maybe 95. So the CD was my first CD with High Tone was called Sleeping with a Stranger. So I think it was like April 20th, 1996. I lived in Sunnyvale, California, and I have my ex-wife. We were married then. I had James Jr., who at the time was 2.5, John was 6 months old, and there was a guy that just walked in the house, and I didn't know the guy, and I go, what are you doing in my house? Get the hell out of my house. And he goes, shh. And then I start following him. He's just starting to walk into the kitchen, and he's looking in drawers, and I'm going, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my house. And unfortunately, I'm not a big guy, and I'm not a fighter, and I'm not that type of person. So all I know to do is call 911. And so I went in the living room, and I'm on the phone, and something in my head said, turn around. It wasn't a voice. It was a voice in my head, and I turned around, and this guy had already had a knife cocked back, and he stabbed me. The first stab wound was in my upper chest, and then a bunch of other stab wounds, and I tried to fight it a little bit then to get him off me, and I'm trying to protect my kids and myself. Anyway, I thought if I got outside, he would leave the kids alone. He hadn't messed with them. We had a nanny, and she grabbed John, who was 6 months old, and went in and locked the door in the bedroom. But James was so little, 2.5 years old, he was grabbing on my leg, and so I thought if I got this guy outside, so I'm trying to pull him outside while he's stabbing me. I didn't realize that he had picked up James Jr. and threw him over the balcony.
Oh.
We were on the second story, and I still twitch when I see that. But I walked down the stairs, and James I thought he was dead. So I picked him up, excuse me, started walking toward the curb, and then that's when I collapsed from the loss of blood. And I saw the guy walking down the stairs, and I thought he was going to come and finish us off, but he turned around another way, and unfortunately went and carjacked some other people, hurt some other people, and then got arrested. He's in prison and should be and will be for quite a while longer, I hope. But James Jr. got injured really bad, severe head trauma. But he's fine now. He's
good.
20 years old and just starting to play guitar. And I'm just proud dad.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, he's starting to play guitar and loves music, doing well on keyboards. But for me, I got injured really bad. I had major nerve damage in my left hand, my fretting hand. My arm didn't move for, 11 months. And then my hand just, I have nerve damage, so my hand looks okay, but it doesn't work like it used to. I used to be able to do a lot of things. You can go like that with your hand, and that's fast as I can go.
Oh. And
it hurts. It's real stiff. So I call myself a two-finger guitar player.
Yes,
I basically can only play with 2 fingers. This one is weak. This one is the strongest, and this one doesn't bend all the way. So you need that bending to grab a string. So, but I'm totally blessed because it took a lot of therapy and many years to just try to play. And I've had a lot of encouragement of fans and friends and people, and High Tone Records didn't give up on me. They wanted to do 2 more CDs with me, and it's just amazing. So I'm just a very, very lucky guy to even be able to talk to you about a guitar.
And I'm really glad that you're here and able to do that. So how long was it after all of that before you were able to put out another record?
Time-wise, I really get screwed up sometime with time, but I think maybe 2 years. They wanted to do another one, but I didn't, because at that time, 2 years later, all that I had was 1 finger. I could go. And a friend of mine, Doug McLeod, people kept sending me songs, and it's like, what could I do? But I wrote a song called Little James about my son, and it actually was a healing process. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a funny song because he liked Chuck E. Cheese and stuff like that. So I wrote a song, and that helped. And then a friend of mine, Doug McLeod, sent a song, and I called it my 1 finger song. He did all the lyrics, and I helped with the music, and I just went, and actually that's how I started
Okay.
to do it again. And I had to hire another guitar player, Mike Ross, from New York, to start touring again. And they had built a table for me because I had such bad shoulder damage. Here I couldn't put a strap on because of my hand and my wrist still, it doesn't bend like it should, so I couldn't play. So they built a table, and I started playing slide. I'd never played slide before, so I started playing slide, and slowly, every now and then I could get a little more nerve feeling in a finger, and I was able to start doing it.
Oh yeah. So your new album is entitled Guitar Angels.
Guitar Angels, yeah, it's the latest. And the reason I wrote the song Guitar Angels is obviously, for me, I have angels. And I think no matter what you do in life, you know, if you're a painter or an electrician or something, I believe we all have angels that do what we do to help us. At least I feel that, because there's no reason like I said, I should be sitting here, because I never thought I'd play guitar. The doctors, they kept saying it's 50-50. We don't know. Nerve damage, my kind was they didn't know if any feeling would ever come back. But for me to be able to play guitar, I wrote the song, and I mean every word of it, that I really feel I have angels up there. And my father is one of them. He's been deceased for quite a while, and I do believe I have living angels. Mike Ross is one of my living angels. Coco Montoya is one of my living angels. And so that song,
Joe Louis Walker.
Joe Louis Walker,
who you mentioned, yeah.
I just saw him at a show we did together in Chicago, and he was such a big inspiration. What the story with Joe was, I don't know, maybe a couple years later in San Francisco, and he was doing a show, and I went to see Joe, and we were both on High Tone Records, and Joe goes, you know, ladies and gentlemen, James Armstrong's in the house, and blah, blah. And I was, in those days, I just didn't want to be seen or associated with the guitar, because I couldn't play like I used to. I thought I used to be really good and fast and could do anything that my head told me. Anyway, he called me up, and I said, Joe, I can't play. And he goes, no, and then he got the audience to get me up. He handed me a guitar, and I could do a little bit, but it really hurt really bad. I mean, really bad, like tears coming down. And I leaned over to Joe when I was trying to do a solo, and I said, I can't play anymore because it hurt. And he said, play, motherfucker, play your guitar, play. And I looked at him and kept playing and tried. Didn't sound any better. It still hurt. But that was one of the beginnings of really figuring out that there were people that really cared, angels that wanted to help me. Yeah. And Coco Montoya, I was there were a lot of benefits for me at that time. And one of the benefits, there was a big, finale at the end, a bunch of guitarists on stage. Can't remember everybody, Coco Montoya, Menard Allison, maybe Chris Kane was there. Just a lot of good friends, Doug McLeod. Anyway, it was a big lineup, and we're all there, and everybody was taking a solo, and then I take a solo, and it was horrible. But I literally heard this voice in my head that said, you don't belong in this club anymore. And I thought somebody had said that, and I heard it again. Get off stage. You don't belong in this club anymore. So the dressing room was on the door in the dressing room, the green room rather, was right to the side. So I told the guys, I gotta go. I gotta do something with the guitar. So I went there and packed up my case and got in the car. It was in Santa Cruz and drove home. And I was in tears and just, my career's over. I can't do it. So Coco calls and goes, "Where are you?" I said, "Oh man, I'm home. I heard this voice, and I really believe it. It's told me I don't belong in this club anymore." And he said, "Get your ass back here," because he was like my big brother at the time. "Get your ass back here. Don't ever listen to that voice. It's not true." And that's why he's one of the guitar Angels on the CD.
I didn't listen, so he had a plan. And now I'm a two-finger guitar playing man. But I got a guitar angel looking after me. Guitar angel with six-string melodies. It don't matter what you play, rock, country, blues. Guitar angels will be there for you.
Yeah, so that's why he's one of my guitar angels, and I don't know, the song, you know, for songwriting, I just think it, you know, some of the good ones, and I don't know if Guitar Angels is a good one or not, but it helped me, you know, to be able to, I've been having that idea and that title of getting those two words put together in my head for a long time, and so I was able to finally put more words to it.
It's a pretty moving song. I had read about your ordeal before I had listened to the album.
Right.
And when I had heard the song, it's a heavy duty song.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I tried to make it. You know, I don't talk about the story in the song, but I basically tried to make it positive. That we all have something that we go through. I think we all can have tragedies or adversities in our lives that kind of set us back, but we can get through them.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, the only way I can get that message out is to, you know, sing it in a song. Try to talk about it that way.
Yeah. Do you have to live the blues to sing and feel the blues?
You know, I totally don't believe that, because when I first met Bruce Bromberg and we were writing songs together, and you know, I lived on the beach. I never lived more than a mile from the beach for most of my entire life. So things weren't too rough, you know. California, the weather is always great, and you know, and Dad had a nice life and I had a good life. So it wasn't a lot of bad hardships. But I don't feel you have to live the blues to be able to play it.
Okay.
You know, I think you got to feel it. Jimi Hendrix had many quotes, and they were all, in my opinion, just incredible. But the best one for me that I ever heard him say, he said, "The blues is easy to play, but hard to feel."
I just read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It is true.
It's so true. I mean, there's only 3 chords, and you can go there, but the guys back in the day that came up with the concepts and that whole thing, just the feeling, you know, that stuff just can't be recreated, you know, and to me that's what that's magic for
Yeah.
me.
There's a couple other, well, we have, I don't remember how many songs are on the new album. There's a 9 or 10 at least on the new album.
Yeah, there's 10, yeah,
And
10, 11 or something.
There's a couple songs that are sort of humorous songs.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Well,
guess you're referring to, well, there's a couple of them, but I guess the main one that's been doing really well is Grandma's Got a New Friend.
Grandma's Got a New Friend.
Yeah, and I'm in a new relationship, been in for about 2 years, and after about 6 months, I had to meet the rest of her extended family. I'd met her son and a few other people, but she's got a lot of brothers and sisters and this and that. So they all came over to the house, and you know, we had a big meet James Day, you know, type of thing. So I thought I put on the best James Armstrong and had everybody laugh and did a great thing, I thought. So when everybody left and we're sitting on the couch, and I go, babe, how'd it go? Her name's Alice. And so I said, how'd it go? And she goes, everybody loved you. You were great, except Lily. And you got to keep in mind, Lily at the time was her 6-year-old granddaughter. And she said, Lily dragged me in the bedroom and shut the door and went, Grandma, who's that guy? Grandma, what's he do for a living? Grandma, where's he sleep? What kind of animals does he like? You know, things that 6-year-olds. And I'm a song title guy. That's how I write. I like to get a title. And it hit me immediately. It was like, Grandma's got a new friend. So that's how the song came.
Oh, I'm glad I asked the question because I didn't know it was sort of autobiographical.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of maybe your grandmother
Oh,
at one
no.
point, or a grandmother you had known.
Right. No, it's actually, she's a grandmother, and this is she's my girlfriend, and she's got a new friend.
So how's Lily? She come around?
Lily had just texted me an hour ago and said, I love you. We text each other funny pictures. She's 7 now. 8. Sorry, Lily. She's 8. And we text each other and we tell each other, I love you more. So everything's great.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's actually singing on the CD.
Is she?
And the last verse, there's some kids. So there's Lily and her brother, and Dylan and Olivia. Those are Alice's other grandkids.
Which song is that?
Grandma's got a new
Oh,
friend
on that song.
on the CD.
All right.
I had them come in and do some vocals.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and listen to it again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Is there one other than that? Maybe that song. Is there one song on the new album that's your favorite or that means the most? Guitar Angels obviously is very personal.
Yeah, Guitar Angels for me it's just yeah. You know, I wrote this CD, a lot of it with my guitar angel, Mike Ross, who was he produced my last one, Blues at the Border. And then he was the fellow I met, and I had to hire when I had never used other guitar players because I couldn't play. And so when I started touring again, here's this guy playing guitar I just met, and we literally hit it off. He just encouraged me so much. I care and love him so much because at where my head was at, it's like it was my name, but I didn't want to be there. So any egotistical musician could have just came up and took over the spot, and I would have said, great, you know, I mean, literally. But Mike never, there's that line of a front man, and Mike never crossed that line. He just made sure that I was the front man and always encouraged me. Anyway, we were, working on this new CD, and he's always helped with music arrangements, but never lyrics, never wrote anything. So I called him one day. I said, Mike, we need to write a song lyrically together. He goes, oh, James, I can't write lyrics. I go, yeah, you can. You write for some magazines. He's a guitar tech guy, and you're good, right? He says, yeah, but not song lyrics. I said, it's easy. I believe anyone can write. It just has to be heartfelt. And Steve, I kid you not, the next morning I got this email, and the title of the email was called Healing Time. And here's these lyrics. It's about his brother who passed away 15 years ago. His name was Norman Ross. And I knew Norman, and I know Mike very well, and we've talked about Norman, but I didn't know how much Mike was still hurting. And he wrote this song about healing, that it's time to heal. And he did it in less than 24 hours. And I changed the words a little bit to kind of fit me, just very little, put some music to it, and that it's called Healing Time. And live, it's just been doing really well, because sometimes I tell stories about the songs ahead, and they make more sense when you hear the story of the song. But that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's another great song.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Right? Is it? You said it's the lyrics and the words come first, or do you?
It's the title.
The title and the
Yeah,
music follows.
Title. Huh?
The music follows the title and the words.
Always. Yeah, I never really hear the music first.
Okay.
Yeah, not really. I'm working on obviously the new CD now because this has been out three months or a little more. But I'm kind of working on a new one, and the first song I started a few days ago, and it's the title just popped in my head.
Anything you care to share? You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't mind, man. The way I look at life, life is open, especially if you're an entertainer. Yeah, what happened was my girlfriend Alice, her birthday was in March, and I asked her what she wanted for her birthday. Like a month at a time, she told me a song, and I went, okay, cool. And I never really written like love songs, and I love her very much, and I was going, okay. So anyway, I forgot, and so it was a few days before her birthday, and I went, oh shit, Alice wanted a song. So I thought I'd ask her again, hoping she forgot, and fortunately for me, she did. I said, babe, what do you want for your birthday? She goes, oh, a bracelet or a necklace. I went, oh, great. And it was really good because I totally forgot. And she totally forgot. And I forgot the song. But a few days later, I wanted to write her a song. And then first thing that popped in my head was, I don't want it to be just another love song. There's the title.
Okay.
Ain't just another love song. Ain't just another love song. And yeah, it's about 3/4 way done. I'm surprised.
Cool.
It came really easy. Most of it came in a restaurant. And that's the thing with technology now. So I kind of talked the lyrics on Siri, and then they were all written out, while I was talking, and I went home and I could remember what I thought when I was eating my breakfast.
Yeah, if you don't capture those ideas in the moment, sometimes they're gone forever.
It really helped.
So will we hear any of the music from the upcoming album tonight?
No, they're not even done. Well, this one's just brand new. That Sleeping with a Stranger. I'm Sleeping with a Stranger. Guitar Angels is only 4 or 5 months old.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but I know sometimes, like you were playing some of the songs that are on, like Grandma's Got a New Friend, you had been playing for years, or for a little while.
Oh, yeah, no,
right?
That's totally true. There were some tracks, the one before that called Blues at the Border, we had some extra tracks, and then what I did was put some of those on the new CD, and some of those Saturday Night Women was new, and a song that called Bank of Love, that I've been doing a while, and that one's actually in a major motion picture, and I got lucky long time ago with Bank of Love. Some production company heard me in Santa Monica doing a song and wanted to put it in a movie, so I got lucky.
Yeah, I read that. That song's in more than one movie, isn't it?
That one is one. That one is in one. I think it's Sleeping with a Stranger is in Speechless with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And in another movie,
That's the one.
I can't remember. That movie might be, I think, Florentine or something.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because a lot of them were a while back.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself headed from here? Are you just following where life brings you, or what the plan other than writing the new album?
We're just promoting the new CD, and just see how it goes. Writing wise and where musically where I feel I want to go, I don't know. It's like for me, the blues. Like I said earlier, in my live shows I do a variety of music, but I think even if I open my mouth, it kind of sounds bluesy. And anything I do on the guitar, since I can't rock out like I did when I was younger, I can only play kind of slow, and so the things are all bluesy. But what I hear in my head from some of the folk things I grew up with, the rock, the country, I have a hard time of just doing straight 1-4-5 or just straight type blues. So lately I've been thinking I could do it. I mean, it wouldn't be a problem to do, that I might just do a straight ahead blues album, but I don't know. Because when I go home, after this tour, I'll get, and something else will pop in my head, some experience from this tour, and it might go another way. It might come out with a polka scene.
Well, you got to follow the unknown sometimes, right?
I'd
be surprised if I see you doing a polka anytime soon, but that would be cool.
It would.
Yeah. James, I really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure to sit and talk with you.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's nice, you got us a nice setup here, and we got the good light. I can look out and see some people walking, and we'll just now go and have a little bit of something to eat and try to have a good day.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the show.
Great, buddy.
All right, thanks, James.
Thank you.